Thank you, mothers and others. So, our last candidate that we get to introduce you to this evening is Dawn Richardson. So, Dawn Richardson is a candidate for Texas House 54. This is a donut shaped district in Bell County, which encircles Temple. She is running to replace pro voucher and Republican Education Committee Chair Brad Buckley. Welcome, Dawn. I'm so glad you're here. And can you tell us a little bit about who you are and why you decided to run for office?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Dawn Richardson. I am an Air Force brat, an Army wife, the proud mother of two KISD public school educated daughters, and I am a 39-year retired educator. I got into this. I was a part of a group who looks at issues in Bell County, and they brought up candidates that were needed to run because of all the things that are going on in this county as well as across the state. And they were talking about the qualities that are needed in a candidate. And our county commissioner, Louis Minor, turned and said, "That sounds like Dawn Richardson." So after careful consideration, talked to my family, talked to my God, and then hearing my opponent at his town hall, I decided to run. Our children are too important. And so I got into this because of the issues that are at hand, that are vital, that should be priorities for all of us this coming November.
Amen. And I'm so glad you're running, Dawn, because like listening to your story and talking to you, we both kind of logged in early on the webinar this evening. It was great to kind of hear a little bit more about you. Bell County is one of those counties. It's sort of like the next Williamson County that's sort of, turning blue. Bell County is that next county. I mean, we can invest some energy and some dollars into Bell County, and really we have the potential to flip it. So it's a very up and coming, newer sort of purplish blue county in Texas. And I'm telling everybody out there, it's worth investing in. So yes. So let me turn it back to Dawn. So Dawn, tell me a little bit more about like your district and what are your top 3 issues for your district?
My district, as you just pointed out, due to gerrymandering, I am what they call the donut, and then in the middle is District 55. My district is heavily military. We have one of the largest base in the free world, so to speak. It was Fort Hood. It is now called Fort Cavazos. So we have that influence. 70% of our students are at the free or reduced lunch spectrum. We also have the second largest employer in our area is the educational system, is KISD. So this voucher thing, even though they call it educational savings accounts, we know that's going to just take money out of the public schools and put them into private schools. That's going to hurt our economy as well as our children, because we're going to be already at the point where our district right now is having to have these hard conversations about where to make budget cuts. That should not be. That $6 billion that was in that bill, when that voucher was stripped, then my opponent pulled back that $6 billion. That should have been given to public education. That should have been allowed to come to the floor, voted on, and given to public education. But it wasn't. And who gets hurt? Our children get hurt. Our teachers get hurt. Our community gets hurt. And so right now they're struggling and trying to figure out where to shift money around to fund the resources that are necessary and needed to educate our children. And that is a big conversation here, very big. And people are very disappointed when they hear about this issue and what could have solved it already. So we need to get to the State House so we can say, hey, we don't want these vouchers. We want to fund fully our public education system. My next issue that's very important to me, I have 2 daughters who are grown, who have no children. And like a lot of mothers in the state of Texas, I am very concerned about the choices that they have or don't have anymore when it comes to their health care. We have got to fight for our women's rights. our rights to our bodies. No one has priority over our bodies. We need to make those decisions for ourselves. No one should be making those for us. And along with that, we need to fight for our veterans. Again, I'm in a military town, and they are cutting or pulling back different veterans' rights, such as the 100% disabled veteran tax exempt on their property taxes. It used to be wherever they live, they got that. Now, if you do not live in a town that borders a military installation, you don't get that from the state. So guess who has to pick that up? The local taxes. And so when you see your taxes going up, that's because a lot of state money is being pulled back that was promised, and we have to get that back.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we have to fully fund healthcare. We have folks who are going broke, who I had a gentleman tell me that they told him he made too much money, only $2,000 a month. He made too much money to get help, so he would have to quit his job to get help with his health care, with his bills. That makes no sense. No one in this world should be having to make those choices between getting medicine or eating. So we have to get our health care in check.
Well, amen to that. And I can kind of, I would agree with all of those things. There's all these little tricks with like, if you make this much, you don't qualify. And due to the fact that, the economy is the way it is, and sometimes in some areas, minimum wage is gone up in some areas, and it hasn't in other areas, it can really affect how close you are to tipping over to that edge to where you're not going to be qualifying for any benefits. So it's very tricky. So I definitely can empathize with that. So Dawn, I just want to say, before I ask you your last question, I want to tell you that when Brad Buckley sort of changed his positioning on vouchers, I kind of got mad and I said, let's raise money and put up a billboard in Brad Buckley's district. And we did. We put up a billboard that said, don't let, the Texas legislature turn off your Friday night lights.
There you go.
And it was in your district, and it was the first one that went up. So, and I just kind of thought, well, you get what's coming to you, Brad. This is what's coming. It was just really funny. So anyway, so Dawn, tell us a little bit about, where we can find you, your website and social media, and how best we can support you right now while you're running for office.
My website is dawnrichardson2024.org. You can also find me on Facebook, Dawn Richardson for Texas District 54. How you can support me? Donate. As we are all saying, money is hard out here. And unfortunately, we need money to run these campaigns. I'm finding that out with all the different things you have to get and all the people you have to pay. So if you can support us that way, please do. But come to the website, come to the Facebook, see what I'm about, hear me, and then hopefully support me, because we need to let Texas know that it's a new dawn.
I love that. That goes with your back screen, right? I love it. That is, I like marketing and branding, so that's right up my alley. I love that. Thank you so much for joining us, Dawn. Yes. And so just to let everybody out there know is that we do have some really great candidates coming out of Bell County right now. So, and these wonderful women that are all running for office. So please go look up Bell County, because some really awesome things are happening there. So I just want to let everybody know that. So one last round, I just want to say thank you so much to Dawn and Kathy and Vicki and George. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And I look forward to seeing every single one of you on the campaign trail. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.